Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy!
Hey everybody, this is Joel Hoekstra of Whitesnake, and you're listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. Rock on.
Welcome to Ages of Rock podcast. This is episode number 137. We've got Scotty Chapman on tonight. He is from the band The Garden of Eden. Da-da-da. I got it right this time. And anyway, we met him down at the Rockin' Pod and had a nice conversation with him. A young guy, got some great music. You'll hear all about it here in a little bit. So what's going on, guys? I haven't talked to you guys much. Everybody's been
young.
busy.
He's almost like a baby. He's like 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shit.
He's got some mad skills though.
He ain't a shitting. He ain't a shitting. I was really excited to talk to that guy. He was a real cool dude.
We are recording this particular episode, the pre-show anyway, on Wednesday, September 26th. On September 26, 1983, the greatest Motley Crue album was released. Today's the 35th anniversary of the release of Shout at the Devil.
Oh,
I thought you were going to
that's
say
the first record.
That's the second record.
That's the second record. Yeah.
The first one
See,
was Too Fast for Love.
Yeah, that's the best one.
No. No, it is not.
Actually, I liked the first.
Actually,
I liked the first 4 or 5.
the first 5.
Actually.
All the way up to Dr. Feelgood.
I like Dr. Feelgood too.
I like the Decade of Decadence stuff, even though most of it's covers and remixes.
Yeah,
But,
stuff.
yeah. Now, I have to say, the Motley Crue album that came out in 94 with John Corabi, I love that album. Even though it's, it's kind of like Kiss and the Elder and Kiss and Carnival of the Souls and Kiss and Unmasked. It's a great album, but it's not a great Motley Crue album.
Is that the Swine or whatever it's called?
No, Generation Swine is when Vince came back.
That's when it
But
came back,
the one in 94 is self-titled.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And actually, I think a lot of the Generation Swine stuff, Corabi actually wrote the lyrics to it.
Gotcha.
And I'm sure I know he wrote the lyrics to some of the stuff, and somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, or will correct me because I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Wait a minute. I have my work shirt on.
I've never been a huge.
Put a Post-it note over that.
So that's all right. Give them some.
Really, you never? I like Motley Crue. I've seen them.
I mean, I like them, but I've never been a
4 or
huge,
5 times.
Never been a huge fan. I saw them the first time was in Theater of Pain. I took my sister and Kelly to that.
I was there.
Who was their opener?
Indiana.
I was not.
Opener for that?
My first Motley Crue show was in 1998.
Wow, dude.
Was that Crocus?
I think it was,
no.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't
think it was Crocus. No, Crocus opened for Sammy Hagar, but I don't remember
I never
who.
saw Sammy.
I don't remember who.
But I saw them on the open for somebody on the Too Fast for Love tour. I think, is that right? They weren't headlining yet. I don't think.
Right. Who were they opening for?
That would be correct.
I don't remember, but I remember seeing them and thinking, wow, they're pretty good. And then I saw them on the Theater of Pain. I saw them on the Dr. Feelgood, and I saw them on the Farewell tour or whatever they called it.
Farewell or Final.
Actually, I saw Alice, and they happened to be there.
Yeah, me too.
That's kind of how that went for me, anyway.
Yeah, me too. I even left before it was over.
Yeah, because they weren't that great. That's cool. That's good news. I love that. I love that new stuff. I mean, I love picking that up, seeing that. Like, wow, what was I doing then? And it's pretty cool. Good stuff.
Yeah, I missed the first Motley Crue tours because I was but a teenager. I was 13 when not Theater of Pain, when Shout at the Devil came out. So 15 when Theater came out, 17 when Girls, Girls, Girls came out. And my mom, the first concert my mom let me go to was in the end of 1987 when I was still 17. But, I never got to see any of those shows. I was in Germany when Dr. Feelgood came out. They did come over there and tour for a little bit. And it seems to me that they came into the area where I was stationed when my unit was on a deployment. So I missed the show because we were deployed doing exercises. So when I finally got to see Motley Crue is when they came back on the Tommy Just Got Out of Jail tour, and they were here in Evansville at the Victory Theater, and it was an awful show.
Oh,
and I swore I was never going to go see another Motley Crue show. My friend had bought his son Motley Crue tickets for Christmas when they did was it Carnival of Sins tour?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
When they did that tour, he bought a ticket for him and his son, and he got the flu like 2 days before the concert. And his wife called me and begged me to take his son so that she didn't have to go listen to those nasty bastards.
That's probably a step up for them.
So I got to go see Motley Crue the second time for free, so, I got my money's worth.
Oh, that looked like a pretty good show, too. I mean, I've seen that show.
I've seen that on DVD. I've got it on DVD.
Well, really, cool it was a good show. Going to one of those shows that you know what you're going to get with Vince singing. You know that you're going to get backing tracks with the band. You know you're going to get Tommy Lee walking out there with the video camera, calling it the titty cam. The only thing that disappointed me about the titty cam is the only people that would get their titties out were the ones you didn't want to see.
Speaking of that tour with the big circus tent and everything else, that's what Kiss should have did for Psycho Circus. That stage would have been nice. I thought
the same thing. That was so disappointing because the 3D shit was a bust.
Well, I didn't go to. That's the only tour I've missed. That is the only tour I've missed that I was able to go. So that I would.
You didn't get to see the 3D.
I didn't because I had seen them in 3D every time I went. I don't know. That's kind of crazy.
I went to Holman Center and seen that one.
But I just really didn't have any desire. I looked at the set list and went, "That's the same set list I saw the last time." And it's going to be. I didn't know that was going to be the same set list I get to see for the next 25 years, but it was the same set list. I mean, but that's why I didn't go. I didn't see any value in going. But when I first saw the set, I was like, this is really not that big of a deal. I mean, I thought there was so much they could have done with that whole album with theatrics and all this kind of stuff that they usually do. And to me, it was just like they missed the boat. It was
the stage wasn't that fantastic. They did
there wasn't.
They had like a big video screen, which they were pumping that 3D bullshit through,
but which
was stupid.
And have that,
but you got to give them, even though the 3D stuff was a bust, you got to give them an A for effort for trying. You don't hit a home run every time you step up to the plate.
I just thought the 3D thing was just fucking retarded, though. I mean, it's like we're looking at you and throwing 3D. We don't need a fucking screen, though.
Yeah,
it was shitty at best. But
okay,
but
so that's the end of my Motley Crue discussion.
Yeah, so I went to I was a virgin until Sunday evening, and my lovely wife and I, by default, she went because my buddy that was supposed to go with me was worked like 900 hours last week and couldn't go. We went to see Ozzy for the first time. So I've never seen Ozzy before. I've always wanted to see him, but it just never really worked out. I'm telling you, I was impressed.
So you lost your Ozgenity?
I did. I lost my Ozgenity, and it was really, really, really good. Let's start this with my okay, I'm going to do that, and then I'll finish at the end. So it was Stone Sour started. They had a really great set. They played for 45 minutes to an hour. I mean, they played a pretty good set. Corey Taylor he said he had allergy issues, right, but he sounded really good. I mean, Corey Taylor's a great lead singer. Sounded really, really good. The band I thought they were really good. They sounded good. And they had a whole video show. So I posted some pictures from the very beginning where they had fireworks going off. And then later they had a great funny picture. You know those things that they put up that are really tall and skinny and have like the faces on them and they kind of wobble around? They're like attached to fans.
The flailing.
They had like 4 or 5 of those on the stage too. It was so funny.
That's cool.
One of them in the back, and I don't think they had it set up this way in particularly, but it would stay straight up, and then every now and then it would just kind of lean a little bit, and then it would go. Bloop. But it wouldn't like it would. The other ones were like waving around and acting that was like I'm here, getting a little off center, boop, right back. I mean, it was funny. We were laughing about it. Then they did a set change, and Ozzy came out. He played probably 15 songs, I think it was. did some Sabbath stuff. They had a pretty long, not intermission, a pretty long Zakk Wylde guitar solo where he came out in the stands and did a guitar solo out there. And it was Zakk Wylde. He was that dude. It was all. I mean, I was as excited about seeing him as I was about seeing Ozzy, and he was really good. And he's out there in his kilt tearing it up and played a flying V behind his head and all this kind of stuff. And it was really into it. And the fans were into it that were around him. They were watching on the video. It was really cool to watch. And then they did Crazy Train was the final song. And then he said, Ozzy said, if you go crazy for this, we'll play one more song for you. So they played Crazy Train. So we started heading out, went up to the back because we'd parked in Sleepy Bear Campground, which is the best place to park if you go to Ruoff Homes. They play. So we stopped, and then he said, "Thank you very much. We're done. We're out of here," or something like that. And so we started to leave, and he goes, "Nah, let's do one more song." So they did "Mama, I'm Coming Home," and he did about half that song, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm ready to go," because I wanted to just get out of there because I had to work on Monday morning, or Lisa and I both had to work. And
because Bill, he's coming home.
Yeah. And then that got finished. We're halfway walking out there, and they played Iron Man.
Oh, really?
And I was like, well, damn. I wish I'd have stayed. But it was really good. The stage show was good. The video stuff they did was great. How they integrated it all was really, really cool. Ozzy was great. I mean, Ozzy wants everybody clapping all the time. I mean, that is he uses the biggest freaking teleprompter monitors I've ever seen in my life.
Gene,
I'm not kidding.
Use a damn teleprompter.
Yes. I mean, Ozzy stood behind it. I mean, you can tell. You can tell. They're showing him on the big screen. He is obviously reading the words, right?
Well, he has to.
I bet the monitors were probably 3 foot wide by 2 feet, 2.5 feet tall. And there were two of them,
big letters.
So they had the font size had to be like that big. I mean,
well, he's got bad eyesight, I'm sure.
So
he doesn't want to wear his readers.
He comes out and he's screaming. He comes out there and he's got a jacket on at first, and he says, Indianapolis, let me hear you. And people are screaming. He goes, I can't hear you. And I looked at Lisa and said, well, that's because he's deaf. Because he talks on the show on that, on Jack and Ozzy's World Detour. He talks all the time about being deaf. I'm like, well, hell, that's why he can't hear you. He's deaf. But it was impressive. I really was impressed. I felt like I'm glad I went. Ozzy's one of my people that's on my See 'Em Before They Die tour.
Right.
And I can check that box off because I would go again though, for sure.
Right.
But he did say that's not his last tour. That's his last world tour. So he's going to do shows here and there. He said, I'll be back.
Sharon's going to keep him on the road until he's dead.
But you could understand everything he said. It wasn't like he was just tumbling the whole time. I like I said, and musically they sounded great. He sang really well. The music selection was really good. I left there very satisfied.
Somebody posted a video earlier in the week. I think it was Steve Wright or somebody went to him and seen him a week or two ago. Was the keyboards really, really super loud? The video he had seemed like the keyboards were a little almost too loud when they did a couple of songs, they were pretty loud. Okay, yeah. I was just wondering because that one he posted.
Listen to the song,
right? So like Crowley or something, Mr. Crowley.
I listened to some songs on the way up there because I thought Lisa might want to get familiar with some stuff if she didn't know it, and the songs that were mixed at the time in the late 80s, they were very heavy keyboard, and you could tell they were very. So I didn't think it was anything out of the ordinary.
Right.
So great show. Now,
cool.
So Ticketmaster, screw you, you bastards. I got you again. That's my lead into the next part, which is I bought Ozzy tickets back in May. I paid with the Ticketmaster fee $15 a ticket for lawn seats.
Right.
Then on Saturday or Sunday morning, and they do this a lot in Indianapolis if the show isn't sold out. I didn't think they were going to be doing it because I watched and there weren't very many tickets left, and they ended up putting some of the pavilion seats on sale. I bought 2 seats in this very back center section, 2 rows behind the soundboard for $40 total. So I paid literally $65 for 2 tickets. Those tickets were $108 plus the service fees each.
Right.
So Ticketmaster can blow me. I got some money out of it again.
You know, though, I've seen it. Did you see that article this week where they're talking about?
That's why I'm making that point. I'm like, you're not going to screw me. I'm going to, and I know that they're just, so it's Ticketmaster and Live Nation, but I don't care. I mean, that has worked for me all but one show this summer.
Right.
So I'll take it. I've paid $20 and paid a $10 service fee or a $10 upgrade fee and gotten great pavilion seats that somebody else paid $240 for.
That's cool.
And so whatever. This time it was $108.
It's too bad that federal's people can't go in on Ticketmaster and bust that shit up. You know what this?
Well, the thing is, the federal people can go in there. However, the federal people earn taxes on that. So if they reduce the fees that those people charge, they reduce the taxes that they earn. So no, the government's
the problem
broke-ass
is this
enough
bullshit.
as it is.
Problem is they're having that that issue where they talk about the scammers and all this shit, but then they give them the software to do this stuff because when they go on the resale market, they get an extra. They're basically they're double dipping on their fees. So they're of course they want them to do that. That's what they want these bots to pick up as many tickets as they can, and then they're going to resell them, and then they're going to get another fucking fee.
That's exactly why. That's exactly why. Whenever you got the tickets for Foo Fighters in Lexington, and you had the special code,
bullshit.
That Foo Fighters were all part of that, right? You had to get a special code from them, and you get on there, and you're on there within seconds of when it goes on sale, and we're sitting in the upper deck on benches.
Right. Plus
and then
you got to figure. Right.
They had seats available.
Right.
I mean, it is
bullshit.
Scam.
I don't do that no more. But you want to you're going to join Kiss's fan club for $50 so you can get pre tickets, orders, whatever.
Nope.
That's bullshit.
I've been in Kiss's fan club since like 1978. They can suck my dick.
Yeah.
Trust me, I have spent more money than that fan club over the years. Yeah, I mean, in this room alone, I've got years.
But I thought that was kind of funny. You can join now for $50 a year, and you can get these. You can pre-order tickets. So it's like fuck that shit. I ain't paying $50 to get tickets that are no better than they.
Well, while we're on the topic of Kiss, Paul Stanley did an interview with Rolling Stone on one of the Sirius XM channels.
I haven't heard that yet. So what are the tidbits? Are they? Is this the end of the road tour for sure?
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
Well, the interviewer actually asked that. You guys have said this before. What's to keep you from going out again? So they touched on that a little bit. They touched on Paul's vocal issues, and Paul was as honest as Paul is ever going to be about anything like that.
Right.
The funniest thing is like, if you want to hear what I sound like when we recorded a live, go listen to a live. That was a good point.
And that's what he said that about.
I'm in my mid-60s now. I did that when I was in my 20s. I get it.
Yeah. And he said that before about stuff, people want him to do stuff off of Heaven's on Fire.
Yeah.
If you want to hear Heaven's on Fire, you need to go listen to Heaven's on Fire. Yeah, I know, but I want to hear the band do Heaven's on Fire, so you don't have to sing.
Right.
We can do that part.
Exactly.
But the interviewer asked him something about Gene taking pot shots about Paul's voice, and of course Paul had to fire a pot shot back, and he's like, yeah, when Gene does his solo stuff, it's usually a free show or there's only like 200 people in the room, so big deal. And of course Bill and I have been in the room with Gene twice during those shows, and regardless of how many people are there, it's a good time.
Exactly. Here, yep. I got an email the other day. You got to read this. All right, you got to listen to this. So I got a Gene Simmons Vault frequent buyer offer. Okay. So he says, you're worth a deuce. You bought the vault, but want to be part of another vault experience. Well, Gene wants you to join him at the 2 last vault experiences of 2018, December 1st in Los Angeles with a surprise guest, or Sunday, December 2nd at the Las Vegas Monster Kiss Golf with Tommy Thayer, or both. What does it cost? $1,000 per experience. What do you get? You and a guest attend the ultimate rap party and help celebrate the vault's success successful 2018 tour witnessed the last Songs and Stories session, a brief photo op with the demon himself, 2 autographs, one per person on your items, a collectible laminate, and bragging rights. So you don't get a vault. You just basically get to go hear him like tweak on the guitar for a little bit, and then you get a photo op for $1,000. Like, no, it ain't happening. But I just like, man, he's trying to, he's gonna milk this cow till it falls over.
Yeah, beat a dead horse into a fine powder.
But I just thought that was funny. And then, and also, if you want to go to the Monster Kiss Golf and have Ace Frehley stand up
at your wedding for $6,000,
he can either walk the bride down the aisle, or he could be your best man. Now the $6,000, I read through that. That's including the chapel. You get cake, and there's all kinds of other.
That's the whole shebang. It's not just Ace.
It's just not Ace.
Gotcha.
But he's part of the deal. It's like, and it's only for the 2 days he's in Vegas. He's going to do it for 2 days. But it's like he just got off a tour from Gene. Gene's probably sitting there going, "Hey Ace, I'm gonna give you some advice."
I think you can get some money, man.
Yeah. So back to the Paul Stanley interview.
Sorry,
my favorite quote from Paul, and I'm paraphrasing this quote, was the interviewer asked him something about pyrotechnics back in the 70s, and Paul said, "We didn't hire pyrotechnicians, we hired arsonists." Because he said one night you'd be at a show and it would sound like popcorn going off on stage, and another night you'd be at the show and it'd sound like you're in a war zone. But
I've heard that before.
We hired arsonists. That just I was driving down the street and I'd kind of catch myself there. That really, really cracked me up.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that statement, but I've heard the thing about popcorn before and war zone. I've heard him say that before, which is crazy. So we had a little competition this week. Our buddy at Ear Peeler is retiring. Yep. Yeah, Victor is retiring Ear Peeler, and we're sorry to hear about that. But he's done something pretty cool on the way out, which is he's having a competition between podcasts that Ear Peeler has been supporting, and so
kind of a bracket system, like a
bracket system, like a Super Bowl bracket or a basketball bracket. Yeah.
Right.
So we want to thank all of our Ages of Rock podcast listeners, voters, audience,
right,
for putting us over the top and through to the second round. So thank you guys very much.
We were up against a really good show and friends of ours.
Yep.
At Classic Rock Drops, we had Mike Williams and Tuck. Those
Watts.
two guys are the top Watts.
Tuck Watts.
Watts. I didn't
know
his
Watt
last name.
or Watts. I can't remember if there's an S on the end.
I just know he always goes by Tuck. So,
yeah.
But anyway,
cool
those guys are really cool, and I've hung out with them. Actually, I hung out with them at the Gene Simmons Vault Experience. They were both there, and then we've seen them at the Expo also, and they're just ended up at the Indie Expo. Just real nice guys, and like I said, and the thing is, I talked to Victor today. He was going to change our logo for the next round, and he had a thing this morning, a live Facebook thing. I don't know if you've seen it, where he was talking about the brackets and he was voting as he goes. He wouldn't tell who he was voting for, but he was going through and kind of last minute say, "Ooh, this looks like a good race," whatever. But he said, there was a couple of people that didn't quite get it. He said they were mad. They were like going, "Why did you put us up against this and this?" And it's like going, and like he says, they're not getting this, what I'm trying to do. This has nothing to do with the competition. This is basically just to get your name out there, to get PR, to get people talking, to get people, and putting you up against other people. Those other people are going to see your podcast logo. They may come so it's all about PR. It's not about winning. It's just fun. And I said, I appreciate it. I said, we get it. We're funny. He says, you're 100% right. He says, I'm so glad you get it. But he emailed me back. So
I was kind of watching some of those. Some of those I was really surprised at how much of a slaughter it ended up being. Three sides of the coin got their asses handed to them. There were a couple other, of course it really, when you go up against Decibel Geek, I personally think Decibel Geek's going to end up winning the whole kit and caboodle.
I probably think so. But Trunk, did he win or did he lose?
Trunk lost. Yeah.
Did
Front
they really?
lost, three sides lost. The one that, I watched the closest was probably Podcast Rock City and Pot of Thunder, because I love both of those
Who ended up
podcasts
winning
a
that?
whole lot. Pot of Thunder won. I mean, it was
I know it was down to a couple
it
of
was down to less than 20 votes, I believe.
Wow.
But that was I was really watching that one close. I was like, man, it doesn't matter who win that one. It's going to be. I mean, those were both good podcasts.
Kid growing up, did they win too?
I know I didn't see that one today.
I'll have to look and see. But
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, anyway, we're going to go through because we just found out this here just a couple hours ago. So I did have a thing on there about giving away a free T-shirt to whoever. Now here's the thing: we don't know who voted. So my directions was to, if you vote, please send us a message or comment or whatever that you voted. So those are the people in the running. Just because you voted, you're not in it because you didn't follow instructions.
Well, I posted on my personal page. I posted and told people to let me know if you vote.
So that's why I got to get
it. So I will send you their names.
Right. So, and it's the same way with Alan and me. I got to figure out who actually.
So I know who voted.
The thing is, we had 100 and something votes. I just don't know all 100 and something names. So
and you may not know. So
what I'm going to do
what they told it.
Right. So what I'm going to do is we'll sometime after we get it all figured out here in the next couple of days, we will post it on the page who won the T-shirt. We'll get your size and we'll send it out to you.
Well, are you going to send it out now, or are you going to wait until we get kicked out of the competition?
Well,
no, I think we told them now.
Well, I'm gonna. Well, if it's not a extra large or a 2X, I'm gonna have to get it made from my aunt. So I'm gonna. It may be a week or two, but it will be no. But what I want to do is I want to give another one now for this next round. Since we're in round 2, and here's the instructions. If you vote, give us a comment or send us a message, whatever. Just say, hey, I voted for you. And that's all we need to where we know who it is, because this voting thing doesn't tell us who votes. So we just know the numbers. We don't know who actually voted. So if you want to be in the running for another T-shirt, do it, and we'll draw for that one too. So as long as we stay in, we'll give away shirts. How's that?
So, works for me. They're your shirts.
Yep. And well, we're gonna get. I got a whole bag of them. So anyway.
So cool.
That's what we're going to do on that. So, but
round 2 is coming up.
Yeah. So round 2, I think we're going against, if I'm not mistaken, is it the Rock Combat? I think.
Oh, Rock and Metal Combat. I think. That's
Rock
correct.
and Metal Combat. Yeah. I think that's who we're going up against, and they got a lot of followers. So, people, we need your help. Get your brothers and your sisters and.
Yeah. When does that kick off?
I don't. I'll have to look at the bracket. I'll have to look at the bracket.
Dennis is in charge of keeping track of how long it takes us to get kicked out of that competition, because Bill and Alan are way too busy. We don't have time.
Well, I mean,
I'm just fucking with you, dude.
Okay, so I can't read the. I can't blow it up enough to see when.
Dennis has the wrong glasses on.
No, actually, I got my reading glasses on, but this JPEG when you it blurs out when you try to read it. We will post it on our page whenever it starts. I think the voting will probably start tomorrow, I would think, and go for another 3 days or whatever. But we will post it on our page and all of our personal pages. And if you wouldn't mind, like I said, vote again. Let us know you voted and be in the running for another glorious T-shirt from the Ages of Rock podcast.
Yeah, we may throw a can koozie and a.
There you go.
In there, who knows?
Maybe a guitar pick.
All right. Man, that's
anything else we got going on? Because like I said, we haven't talked very much in the last week or two. That's why I was trying to think of anything else that went on. Oh,
the only thing I got going on is I can smell a chicken pot pie cooking.
Yeah, there's some food cooking.
All right. There is a video on YouTube, a documentary.
There are a whole bunch of videos on YouTube.
It's called type in Mercury Rising. It is a documentary about Freddie Mercury. A friend of mine posted it or shared it the other day, and I actually watched it yesterday. It's 58 minutes. It's I think it's made. I don't know if it's the BBC or if it's an English person who made this video or this documentary, but it's not it's not like super. It's not like Spielberg kind of quality, but it is it's got a lot of good video and just a good story about about Queen, about Freddie. Talks to a lot of his their old agents and photographers, and some really cool information on that. So if you got time and you got nothing to do, check out Mercury Rising.
Cool.
I always like those little documentaries. They're pretty cool. I guess that's all I got. You guys got anything else? Bill?
Nope.
I got nothing, man.
Any concerts coming up or anything?
Nope.
Couple weeks.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll talk about it next time then.
All right. Cool.
All right. So we're going to get on here with Mr. Chapman, Scotty Chapman from the Garden of Eden. All right. So anyway, this interview here is a very interesting interview. We have Scotty Chapman on. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Doing fine.
All right.
This is a weird interview for the fact of how we got.
Is it an
Scotty
interesting interview or is it a weird interview?
No, it's a very kind of cool, weird way that Scotty became a guest on the show.
Okay.
We were at the Rock and Pod Expo, and here a couple weeks ago, and I'm sitting there at a table, and I see Scotty walking around over by the records, and he's talking to some people. And you can, if you're watching our show on YouTube right now, you can see Scotty. He doesn't look like a plumber. He looks like a rock guy. So, but he looks like a guy that I know from some other musician friends of mine on Facebook. And I thought he was another guy named Tyler. So I was sitting there for a little bit. I'm like going, I'm going to go up and ask him if this is the guy, because he kind of looks like the dude. I'm going to see if it's the same guy. So I walk up to him. I go, hey, is your name Tyler? And he goes, no, his name's Scotty. Or he goes, I'm Scotty. And he goes, you play in a band? Yeah, I'm playing a band and whatever. So then I said, well, here's my card. Send me your stuff and we'll, take a listen to it, whatever. So then he sends me an email about 2 days later saying, hey, Dennis, I'm the guy you met up there at the Rockin' Pod. Here's my song. I listen to this song. I'm fucking blown away, dude. So then I go on to, you showed your EP was on Spotify. I listen to this whole thing and I'm like, holy shit. I'm glad it wasn't Tyler, because now I've ran into somebody that's in a cool band that's got some great freaking tunes. So it's a weird situation how we met, but glad to have you on.
Yeah, I'm glad it happened. I'm glad I met you, Dennis.
Awesome. So anyway,
most people don't say that. That's interesting.
Yeah, some people go, can you leave me alone, please? Don't I have a restraining order at some point?
You do have a restraining order.
So anyway, but the interesting thing that we were talking about that day too, just real quickly when we were just conversing, you asked where we were out of, and I said we're out of Indiana. We were Southern Indiana, Bill's up around Columbus, and you said you were from Lafayette, Indiana.
Yeah.
Are you up there now?
No, I'm in Nashville right now.
Oh, I'm going to Lafayette tomorrow morning. I have a meeting at 8:00.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Hey. You need him to tell anybody anything, or
you
drop off some coffee,
or anything in your family, or drop something off your mom. No, I'm just kidding. That's cool.
But anyway, he said he was from Lafayette and then had moved to Nashville. So it was just kind of an interesting thing. But like I said, I got home and listened to that EP, and we've all listened to it so far. Actually, Alan was the last one to listen to it yesterday on his way on his trip up to, where were you going?
Well,
Palestine, Illinois.
It wasn't yesterday. It was Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Yes, it was Palestine, Illinois.
Yeah, it was over the holiday weekend. But anyway, and Bill's listened to it multiple times, and so have I. But anyway, so let's talk about this group, the Garden of Eden, that you're in.
Yeah. Basically, I kind of started it. It's my project that I've been working on since I was, in high school, and I moved to Nashville, and I've been looking for members for it. And I'm still honestly looking for permanent members. I got a couple guys who have other projects, but they're helping me out and playing bass and drums. But right now, pretty much the only permanent member is myself. It's kind of like a solo project, if you will. But
sure.
I got some guys who kind of show up more regularly than that. And basically, I wrote all the songs and wrote the lyrics and wrote the guitar parts, and then brought in some guys on bass and drums, and they threw their 2 cents in. And yeah, it's pretty much how it worked out.
So you play all the guitars on that EP, or just?
Yeah.
Wow.
I did all
right, so I'm
guitar work.
I'm gonna ask the burning question. How old are you?
I'm 21.
Is he just legal? just legal to start playing bars. I mean, I know what I'm saying.
That's
incredible.
I listened to that record. I'm amazed. I'm going to be honest with you, dude. It's really cool. I was amazed. I listened to it and I would have never guessed that it was that was the product of a 21-year-old.
Thank you
just
so much.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah.
That's some great stuff right there.
Yeah, we get a lot of people that hand us discs and stuff like that. Say, hey, check this out, and we'll listen to it. And a lot of it's but I tell you what, this was one that really hit me. One thing that caught me find it kind of funny is everything is. It's very. I don't know what your background is and what let's ask that. What is your background and what is as far as what you listen to? What are your influences?
Probably the first band that comes to mind that made me want to play music the rest of my life is Guns N' Roses, and Aerosmith, Zeppelin, Hendrix are the main four of my favorites. Like Stevie Ray Vaughan, and all the '60s and '70s music of rock and roll, the Doors, the Beatles, the Stones, that kind of stuff. So that's my main influence. AC/DC, can't leave them out.
Because one thing, I had a friend of mine that was over listening to it. I was like, you got to listen to this EP, and he was listening to it. And your vocal wise, there's a band called April Wine. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They were late '70s, early '80s. They had quite a few hits, but the voice is very April Wine-ish, and the songs that you did are. The EP is kind of goes a little bit everywhere. I know there's a lot it kind of goes from that. There's a little bit of Stevie there. There's a little bit of there's some funk in there too. It's kind of
I love funk too, like James Brown and the old Motown stuff, like Jackson 5. I love that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean the EP itself. I mean, is there 6, 7? What songs is there on there? Is it
just 5?
Is it 5? Okay, well I'm adding more, I guess. But I mean, there are. I mean, it goes to the gambit. I mean, you've got your rock, your kind of your funk. I love. There's a lot of what Rod was mentioning. He goes. There's a lot of cowbell in that, and I like cowbell.
More cowbell.
You gotta have more cowbell.
More cowbell, man.
Well, I made the joke that Dennis and I are both musicians, and we're going to work on a project next year. And I said we could cover one of your songs. That way, Bill could jump on stage with us.
Play the cowbell.
There you go. I have no musical talent at all, man.
So how long did it take you to write those songs? I mean,
they came over in a period of a couple of years. The first song I wrote, "Catch Me If You Can," I was in high school, at least when I started working on it, and then all the lyrics and everything kind of came through my first year of college. So I was about 18, and when it was all done,
right.
And then I didn't get to record it till I was about 20, just because of resources and people. I had to put myself in the right spot, but
right.
It was all about done when I was about 18, 19.
So did you do this in a studio, or did you do this in a home studio type situation, or how did you record?
A recording studio, actually in Kokomo, Indiana, at Whisper
Really?
Studio. Yeah. Okay. It's just a small. It used to be a dentist's office, doctor's office that they turned into a studio, and it's really cool. Got a nice vibe to it, and it's kind of a small room, but we got a great sound out of it as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's awesome.
So, Are you shopping it around down in Nashville? Is that what you're doing now?
Doing what now?
Are you shopping it around down in Nashville? Is that what you're doing down there? Or are you?
Yeah, down here I'm just networking, trying to form my band with permanent members, and trying to shopping around, trying to get everybody to listen to it and get a team of people behind the project.
Cool. So did you self-fund the record then? The LP, the EP? Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
On a 21-year-old income.
Exactly.
Tough, man.
You skip your McDonald's. You don't.
Working 3 jobs. That's awesome.
I've been there, dude. I've been there.
Yeah.
Trust me.
You gotta grind somehow. You gotta move up one way or another.
So what was the effect of moving to Nashville? I know Lafayette's not the rock and roll capital of the world, but Nashville. It's actually becoming that. Nashville is becoming a music central. It's not just country anymore.
Yeah.
Was that what drew you to Nashville instead of going to LA and to or New York or whatever
Yeah, a lot
larger
of
cities?
people ask me that question, and I guess Nashville was closer than LA. That was one. And then it was, I don't know, I kept hearing good things about Nashville ever since I was a kid. And I heard bad things about LA, how LA is more kind of dried out and it's hard to live there, hard to find places to play. And especially LA, my thought on LA, you know, like rap and hip hop and EDM are really popular right now, with like the younger generation. And LA's kind of got that vibe where it kind of goes with the swing of whatever's going on right now. So sure. I felt like hip hop and rap and, you know, the Kanye West crowd and all that kind of thing is going to be the biggest thing going on there. Obviously, it's not true. There's obviously, of course, like country and rock and stuff there too. But I figured Nashville would be a good place to try out first. And if I don't like it in Nashville, I'll just go out to LA. But I love it here in Nashville, so I found a nice place to stay.
So, I mean, has it been once you moved there? Was it what you thought? And like I said, has it been easy to find people and to, I mean, easier than you thought, or?
Yeah, actually, the rock scene is a lot bigger than I ever would have imagined here. There's a lot of like not just indie rock and like 90s rock, but like even like 60s and 70s rock. I mean, like there's like some glam bands here, and there's a cool vibe here for old classic rock and roll. And it's kind of a becoming thing that I think will eventually change from, you know, Nashville won't be just known as a country town. It's more of a music city for just all types of music. It's really great.
Cool. There's a lot of people who are, you know, had past big careers and still have, you know, good careers. And then people with big careers that are living in Nashville area. I mean, Nashville has been a draw for a lot of musicians for many years, so it's interesting to see how it's going to end up.
Yeah, it's really changing in the past 10 years, as far as what I know.
So, have you played live? I mean, have you got to jam with other bands and doing stuff like that? That's what you're trying to do?
Yeah, we've played a couple live shows, a couple like house shows. Some we played, you know, at the Local, the Cobra, the Inn, like little rock clubs, some dive bars. I play in this other band. I play bass in another band called Daylight Sinners, that we play a lot of shows around town and stuff. So yeah, we do some live shows. I'm looking to put a CD release party here soon, here downtown. So
that's cool.
When you play in the other band, do you do any of your tunes in there, your originals in there, or is it all covers?
No, the other band is another original rock group.
Oh, okay.
It'll be all. They're called Daylight Sinners, and so we would do all Daylight Sinners songs.
Okay. All originals in that band too.
Yeah, it's just another rock group. I met this dude when I first moved to Nashville. I didn't know anybody here, and I was walking around the street and trying to figure out what to do. And I ran into this dude named Liam Kelly, and he was just shredding on the guitar on the street. And so we became quick friends, and I joined his band on bass. And since then we've been real close friends, and I helped him out with his project as much as I could.
That's cool.
Is that what instrument you normally play? Or you play guitar, you said on the other one, but have you play everything?
Guitar is my main thing. Like if you would ask me what instrument I play, I would say I'm a guitar player. Then I learned how to sing when I was 17, or I just tried to figure out how to do it. And then bass I picked up last year because my friend Liam, who I met with the Daylight Sinners, he needed a bass player, and I just needed a friend, needed a band. So I was like, shit, I'll play bass, you know? I was like, whatever I can do to make some friends. So I figured out how to play bass real quick, and then I joined that band. And then I do play a little bit of keys too.
There you go. That's adaptability, man. That's what you need.
Yeah, you got to wear a lot of hats in this industry. You know, you got to figure it out and just go for it. Say yes and figure it out later.
So the $1 million question though is you know, being that you're 20, you say you're 21, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you got these great songs, you got this great EP, you know, in a package ready to go. How do you get that out to the masses? How do you, I mean, because the record company days are over with, basically.
Yeah.
So being young like this, how do you approach this? Do you go social media, through your own websites? Is that how you're going to go? Or are you trying to get with a publicist, or how's what is your map to getting it out?
Yeah, I mean, all the above. Social media is a great platform, and then you know, my website would be great. I think just playing shows. I'd like to just try to network and get a hold of somebody who is more well connected than I am. and maybe whether it's a promoter or a manager or a booking agent to kind of help push the project. Podcasts like this are great. There's like tons of I found that there's tons of music submission things for radios and iHeartRadio and things like that. You can just kind of push it, submit your music out there to these different radio stations and podcasts and stuff. And if the more people that listen to it, in my mind, or more places that it's at, just the better overall. More people that hear it, more chances there are that it'll get spread.
Exactly.
Yeah, we got to get a link to your. Can you listen to your music on your website?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Well, we'll get that hooked up and get that up on the webpage.
We can't play.
We can't play music on the show, but we could do it. We could definitely put a link out on the thing for, this is an upcoming interview. That'd be great. It's really good stuff. I love the fact that it's, like Dennis was saying, there's just a variety there. I mean, there's the bluesy part. I mean, I just love it. It really is a good record.
Well, it's just the fact that it's it's just the fact that it's somebody young, a 21-year-old person that's putting out music that 50 something. And okay, Alan, and you're 48, whatever you are, 47. But I mean, a 53-year-old guy, I am just like this is the greatest shit I've heard in a couple of months. I mean, to be honest, I really, really like. And the thing is I'm like going, I want more. I want to hear more. I want to hear. I want you to write more. And that's the whole thing is, I want people that whenever they say that rock is dead, it's not dead. It's just we got to find it, and the problem is finding it. It's like trying to find a diamond. It's just hard to find it.
Yeah, I think rock is really coming back in my opinion. I mean, since I've been a kid, I always believed that it's got to come back.
Right.
It's just there's nothing cooler out there in music than rock and roll, and I think now there's like my generation of kids and the kids that are younger than I am. The music trend has been going in the same direction for so long that I feel like there's going to be a shift here soon.
Oh,
it's got to go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do with computer sounds and synths and computer technology and things like that. And I think the kids are going to want to hear instruments again and people singing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. We just
and here in Nashville, you can see that it's alive. There's just plenty of rock bands here in Nashville to choose from to listen to. There's a lot of great ones here.
So if I was in Nashville, where would I go hear rock? Where's the clubs you need to go to? You need to go to the Basement?
Yeah, the Basement's a cool
Exit.
place.
Exit
the Exit Inn is like my favorite venue to go to. They always have every Monday night at the local. There's this organization called the Nashville Masquerade. And the Nashville Masquerade is basically a group of people who books rock groups, and they have like 200 plus bands that in their like catalog, and it's just rock and roll. And they're affiliated with the Rock and Roll Basement, which is like a recording studio / music video production center who just works with rock groups. But yeah, the Exit Inn, Basement, the East Room has a lot of cool rock bands come and play there.
Do you ever go down to the Mercy Lounge, listen to those guys?
The other one I was gonna say. Yeah, Mercy Lounge is awesome.
We are real good friends with all the guys guys that play down there, but they're actually the Gene Simmons band too. Philip and all those guys. And
if you come down here on Tuesday night, you go to the Rock and Roll Residency.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I go there a lot of the times, about once a week.
Cool.
Every time they hold it. So.
You ever got up and sing with them, or?
I haven't. I've not.
You need to.
Yeah.
Well, we mention all the time that we're gonna go down there on a Tuesday night and check them out, and then we never do.
Yeah. Well, we live 2 hours away, but I'm going to come down there at some point, and but we actually know quite a few people that are there on that night. So, yeah, that would be awesome.
Come down and give me a call, and we'll
yeah, definitely. Be cool. Get your number for him. But so what's in it? Have you been writing anything else new?
Yeah. So I've been writing a couple new songs. I got about another EP, about an album's worth of material to come out next. So I'm just waiting for the right time and the right people and the right platform to drop it. So, and the new stuff is great. I think it tops what the previous 5 songs that I just released. So
I hope so. I got a lot of faith in you, brother. No, like I said, I really do. I really, that's one of those things I've played it for, hell, I don't know how many people I've played it for. I've been pushing it quite a bit up here going, you got to listen to these guys, check it out. Or this guy.
Yeah.
Off this record, and I mean, off the EP, what is your favorite song off the EP?
Oh man.
If you're going to release a single, what single would you release?
Well,
see, that's not fair though.
It is fair.
That's not fair. No, that's not fair though.
Because a single, I mean, you got to make sure a single.
You got to make it's going to pop.
2 to 3 minutes.
I know. I'm asking him in his opinion off his record, what single would he release? What would he?
I think Marijuana is my favorite song. At least that's what I would say right now.
Okay, cool.
I think it's really cool. Yeah.
Cool. All right. That's good.
What is your personal? Actually, I like it Right on My Child. I think that for some reason that thing has just grown on me something hard. I mean, just really
that's
bad.
The other one that I think is
that's got a really cool 70s kind of just laid back groove to it. I mean, it
definitely has a groove. I mean, I was listening to it again in the car today, and I was like, it just has a groove. I mean, you feel it's got a good feeling to it.
Bad Girl has got that kind of that April Winey kind of. That if you ever get a chance, go on Spotify or wherever you can and listen to April Wine and pull up Roller or what's the other one? I Like to Rock. Those two songs and listen to that vocal in there, and you have a very close sound to that guy.
I'll check.
I can't tell you who the guy is. Yeah, definitely April Wine. Check it out.
April Wine, spelled like it sounds.
Yep. April Wine.
Right.
Yep.
Not too hard. Yeah, I think Bad Girl's a great song. I mean, I like the whole thing too, but
it is. It's just different.
It is different, and we've been pretty lucky. We've had a band on a couple weeks ago too. That was a band that's a label sent us a record, said, "Hey, you guys, listen to this," and we ended up getting the guy on the show, and it's a great record. It's another great record, and again, it's bands that if we can get somebody a little bit of exposure, I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
it's exciting for us to hear new music and go, I don't have to go listen to the same songs I've been listening to forever. So that's cool.
Yeah, especially new rock music, because like you said, Dennis, it's out there, but it's hard to find.
Well, that's the whole point. Is like I said, we run into these things like, where in the fuck has this shit been? We want it, we just can't get it, and we can't find it. There's a lot of it out there. It's just sifting through and finding the good stuff. Like I said, this was just an accident, a happy accident, actually. That's what.
So, what did you think about the podcast? I mean, the Rock and Pod Expo.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it was a really cool, event for a bunch of rock podcasts to get together and just a bunch of rock and roll fans to hang out, get to know each other. Great networking opportunity for everybody involved. And, a bunch of records hanging out, a bunch of cool pieces of merchandise to buy and stuff like that. So I thought it was really cool. I'm glad I got to go.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Yeah, it was fun. We enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our second one. We're like I said, we're ready to go for the third one.
We had fun right up till they run us off stage.
Yeah, we were.
The old guys were too loud, man.
Yeah, we had a jam at the end of the day. We had a jam last time. We jammed for like an hour and a half, and this time we jammed for 20 minutes, and they come, shut us down. I got to play 2 songs, and then they.
Oh man!
It's like the old guys like to have some fun too.
Well, they had a country acoustic band in the bar.
Well, no, it was 7 o'clock was the time that we were supposed to shut down. It had nothing to do with sound. It was 7 o'clock was the cutoff time. So.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't aware the cutoff was that.
Yeah,
early.
I wouldn't either because we were told
it was
sound.
No,
that's why they cut us off.
That's why everybody left. I mean, we were supposed to be out of the place at 7 o'clock. So that's what I was told. So anyway,
didn't know that.
Scotty doesn't care.
Where can people find? Where can people find you, man?
Where can they find me?
Yeah.
We're on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, a bunch of other different music streaming sources.
Okay.
And then my website, thegardenofeden.rocks. And
cool.
and then you can catch us live here in Nashville. We play generally in Nashville a lot because we don't have the funds to travel yet. But I'm just building my network of people here in Nashville, trying to meet the right people to expand the circle to a nationwide, regional kind of thing.
So are you playing that material live in Nashville then? The Garden of Eden stuff? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Our next show is October 5th over in Murfreesboro, and then after that, it'll be I don't have the date yet, but it'll be sometime in October, November.
Okay.
Downtown.
That'll be on your website though.
Yeah, I try to keep everything posted on my website and on like Instagram and Facebook. I keep all my band information updated.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely going to come see you sometime because I want to see this.
Yeah, it's great. You guys would dig it.
I guarantee it. Well, Scotty, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us. And Alan,
thanks
you got
for
anything?
having me, man. It's I'm very honored to be on your guys' show, and thanks for helping me promote the music.
We appreciate you coming on, and with the exception of our children, I think you're the youngest guest we've ever had.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Actually,
you are. I think you are.
The person we interviewed down there was pretty young, but I think he beat her by about 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we had those kids on Under the Radar.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
But they weren't on the show. They were just interviewed at the podcast.
Yeah, they were.
So,
they were Under the Rainbow, or what were their names?
Under the Radar.
Under the Radar. Sorry.
Jesus.
I was thinking. Forget it. I watched Willy Wonka last night, so
this is typical Dennis. This is nothing new, and our audience already knows that.
Anyway, Scotty, like I said, thank you so much for coming on. Like I said, talking to us, and man, I hope the best. I want to hear the rest of that EP, the second part of the EP. Give me part two of it. Hopefully, we'll get down there at some point and see you perform in Nashville. We're only 2 hours away, so we'll come down and see you sometime soon.
That'd be great. Give me a call.
And keep in touch and everything. And like I said, I'm glad to have you on tonight, dude.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Alan, you want to tell us where we can find us?
All right. We can find us at agesofrock.com. You can find all of our social media stuff there. Find our link to Stitcher Radio and all of that good stuff. Catch us Tuesdays. Catch us on Wednesdays and Saturdays for our rebroadcast on KGF Rocks. And until next time, peace out, folks. Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.